Hey guys, Chris with Retro Crypt, back with another video. So recently, I came across a fairly newer YouTube channel um, called Tim Rants. Talks a lot about Castlevania. I really enjoy his channel, um, but he did recently somewhat recently put out a video critiquing Super Castlevania 4. And I guess he was getting not necessarily um, hate in the comments, but maybe there was some hate, but there was a lot of people had opinions essentially, and you know, I agreed with a lot of what he had said. So Super Castlevania 4 was I think it was a launch title for the Super Nintendo, and it was, you know, an amazing looking game for its time. I mean, I still think it looks amazing, but there's some great things about it, and there's some not so great things about it. So, for one thing, it was essentially a remake, and it was called, Super Castlevania 4, kind of hinting that it was a sequel, but it wasn't. It wasn't really a sequel. It was a remake. So I would say call it Super Castlevania, or you know, don't call it Super Castlevania 4 because you're giving people the impression that it's a whole brand new game. And it was kind of tech demo, like a tech demo essentially that showed a lot of what the Mode 7 chip could do, like in the the rotating stage, the rotating dungeon stage. I think and stuff like in this intro, the graphics were a lot better than what NES was able to do at the time. A lot of this stuff when I first saw it, it was pretty amazing. I remember I rented this game from a now defunct video store called Easy Video, and it was supposed to be returned after 2 days, and I kept it for a week. My parents got mad because I racked up a huge late fee because I wanted to keep it, um, and beat it essentially. But stuff like this, it was amazing for the time. We didn't really get to see cinematics like this in NES games. So I think I'll just let this play while I kind of give some anecdotal, give a little background, my background with the game. Um, yeah, it was markedly better than what the NES was able to do for the time, but personally, I like Castlevania 3 the best. That's my favorite, hands down, Castlevania ever. I don't know if I would even put at this point. I wouldn't put Super Castlevania 4 even in my top five. It would be, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7. I would say Castlevania 3, Symphony of the Night, easy for me to say. At number 2, number 3 would probably be. This would be very divisive, but I personally loved Harmony of Dissonance, so I'd put that at 3. Put the first game at 4, and then Simon's Quest at 5. This would probably be 6. It would probably be 7. I would put Bloodlines at 6. Yeah, so I mean, it is a great game. Um, Let me just. Starting to run out of stuff to say. So yeah, definitely introduced the best button scheme. I wouldn't say it introduced it, but having Y for attack, B for jump. I think that's the best button layout. And then you get a single dedicated button for your sub weapon. It's no longer up and attack. It's R. Which is cool. definitely you know, putting the extra buttons of the SNES to good use. People didn't really like the larger sprite of Simon here. Yeah, he is a bit tall, but I don't think it's like a sticking point, not for me at least. Obviously introduced the, I guess you would call it a flail, the flailing of the whip. Let me see if I can still do this. Yeah, there you go. You could moonwalk up and down the stairs. And this first, I wouldn't call it an intro stage really. It's just, you know, gives you time without enemies on the screen to really get used to all the controls. I was gonna say, dude, if I died there, I would have to quit gaming. So yeah, in Tim Rant's video, he was saying he read somewhere that the first half of the game was kind of like essentially more like a tech demo. So inside of the castle as opposed to outside. Which, I mean, you know, it tracks. Stuff like this, opening of this gate. At the time, I think I was probably, when did this game release? Probably, I know it said it at the beginning, but probably like, what, 1991 or 92? I was probably like 9 or 10 at the time. So, you know, stuff like that really blew my mind. Not a multitasker. I say that in a lot of my videos, and it's so true. I could kind of zone the hell out when I'm playing game. And this thing was, I always thought was cool. Little bat in the background. You know, multitasking in terms of, you know, playing the game and figuring out things to say about it. Because it is kind of boring when you watch a streaming video and the person is just sitting there trying to fill the dead space with fun talking points, or just at least engaging. They're definitely a lot more generous with the wall meat in this game. The music sounds great, but I feel like a lot of it, not this theme, but I feel like a lot of the music in this game doesn't really fit the Castlevania universe. For example, it's like a swamp level later in the game. I always felt like it just did not fit at all. It's almost like this like smooth jazz composition, and I'm like, it just doesn't fit in the Castlevania world, essentially, if that makes sense. But yeah, this Simon's theme is very on track. As I always say in every single video, I really got to get a new controller. I've been saying this for the last, how long have I had this channel for? 3 years? Because it definitely kind of, I'm a D-pad player. I definitely don't like using analog sticks at all. And the D-pad on this particular controller, I don't even know what brand it is. It doesn't even say. I think it's like a janky ass, like, I got it on sale on Amazon type of deal. I love the color though. It is pretty cool. It's got that whatchamacallit, Friday the 13th on NES color scheme. So yeah, long story short, I need a new controller. If anybody has any suggestions, you know, feel free to let me know. Gotcha, buddy. And I don't know if I need like a new HDMI cable or something, because I feel like a lot of frames drop on this. It's kind of It's a little tough to get used to. I also mainly play Switch. I'm playing this on Switch, and I usually only play handheld, so I'm a lot more used to that. I always thought these things looked like ramen noodles when they explode. So cool, stable. Dracula's stable, I guess. I don't know why he would. I don't know. I guess it makes sense that he would ride a horse. I mean, he doesn't really. He doesn't really need to, but he could if he wanted to. He could do it for fun, just to kill time, because he's immortal. Hey, Simon could do this, which comes in handy in like maybe one part of the game, but again, tech demo. It's cool parallax scrolling in the background. Again, my 10-year-old mind was blown when I saw stuff like that. I know a lot of later stage NES games had stuff like that as well, but I got the Super Nintendo. My family wasn't rich by any stretch of the imagination, but my dad was always cool about getting us new consoles. My brother and I. I think that's probably the first time that I've died on this level in forever. Yeah, I didn't play, but circling back, I didn't really play a lot of later stage NES games because my dad just got us a Super Nintendo pretty much as soon as I think that Christmas he got it. And I still loved my NES games, but I obviously didn't really have much of a use for it at that point. Oh, you're not going down. Okay. I didn't really need the holy water for this boss, but it would have been nice. Let's see, it's very, very, very generous with the doling out of the meat. Pause, no diddy. Again, my 10-year-old mind was blown when I saw stuff like that. Yeah, they just weren't really able to do a lot of that stuff on the NES. This map was always cool to me. Looking at it now, it's very, like, pixelated. It's not quite as clear as I remember it being, which isn't a bad thing. Just something that I noticed. This theme is good, but I don't think it belongs in a Castlevania game. Thing looks like the Predator. Cool little addition. I always love hands coming out of the ground. Thought that was cool at Simon's Quest in the graveyard. I'm beat today. It's my day off, so I'm trying to get more streams in. Like I said, I put this channel together 3 years ago, and I was streaming pretty regularly the first year, and then it just kind of like life took over, and you know how it works. Definitely didn't give up, and I want to keep doing it, but It's, on my days off, I just want to sleep and friggin' hit the gym. They don't even hide the wall meat in this way. They just put it in candles. I know AVGN. Oh, come on, man. This is a case of the fucking controller. This ass controller acting up on me. I gotta... is it over here? I think the controller that came with the Switch is somewhere in my room. I know AVGN put out a Castlevania video. Pretty much every channel has. I really don't have the concentration or ability to edit like that. I never even noticed the castle in the background. That's awesome. Or maybe I did and I just don't remember. So I pretty much just do Let's Plays and the occasional movie review. I haven't done one in a while. I've scripted out a few, but I don't know. The amount of work that, it's going to sound defeatist, but the amount of work that you put in, and it doesn't balance out the views and likes you get. Not that I'm doing it for that, but yes, I feel like you're doing it for no reason. That's why I think Let's Plays are a better option. You could just plug it in, start up OBS, and just play a game and talk about it. And hopefully people jump in the chat. I think that's a time stopper. I don't want that. Don't get killed by a frog. Yeah, see, yeah, there's a couple people, couple viewers, don't be shy. It's just me. I know a lot of purists are like, you gotta play these games on a CRTV. I'm playing this on an 85-inch TCL smart TV, and you could see every friggin' pixel, and I love it. Looks so good. Simon's got some thick thighs. I don't want that. There's like a lot of token resistance in this game. I guess they kind of wanted to just make it more accessible after the previous couple games. I don't remember if the Game Boy Castlevania came out before this. Probably. I just remember the first one wasn't that great. The second one was better. But I think they just made this one a bit more accessible because the last few games were just super, super hard. And, understandably, they wanted to be able to appeal to, not to say this in a bad way, but more casual players. Sell more units. You could show what the technology could do at that point. But again, it's just little intricacies, like the water is pushing against me at this point. These enemies make sounds when you kill them. like little attention to detail type stuff, like this water flowing in the background. How do you even get hit? You got a double shot. Oh! Just gonna try and redline it. Fuck. As soon as I say that. Game isn't hard, I'm just very, very rusty. I've always been really good at this game because, again, it's a lot, it's like way easier than previous games, previous Castlevanias. Like, Bloodlines is, in true Konami form during this time, they always made a completely different counterpart for each system. So Super Castlevania 4, I wish I would have gotten that before. Super Castlevania 4 for Super Nintendo, and Bloodlines for Genesis. I still haven't beaten that game. I remember in my computer graphics class in senior year, somebody uploaded video games to all the computers, and that's all we did. Drove the teacher nuts. He had a nervous breakdown. I feel bad about that, but contextual to the story. I remember at the part in Bloodlines where the castle, you have to play a level where it's upside down. In my computer graphics class, I just turned the monitor upside down, and the teacher didn't like that at all. He was like, turn the fucking, yeah, he cursed. He said, put the fucking computer back. And I was just like, nah. I probably deserved an ass whipping for all the stupid shit that I did in school, but it's alright. Life punished me in other ways. Alright, so, again, great track here, but doesn't belong in a Castlevania game. This just makes me want to go to sleep. It's almost like cheerful. Yeah, Bloodlines is a tough game. I've gotten to the part of the game where, I don't know, like the screen kind of becomes like segmented, and it splits into different parts, and it like messes with your eyes. I never got past that part. It doesn't help that there's not unlimited continues. I don't know if there's a... Yeah, you can't lock in place. That would be good if they mapped like the L button. Oh, fuck me. Map the L button so you can lock yourself into place when you're whipping something. I always thought that sound effect was really cool. See, again, it's like a lot of just token resistance. Like one single bat in this section and a huge wall meet. Not even in a wall. I could go on and on about this game. Because again, I've probably played it more... Nah, no way. I definitely didn't play this more than part 3. I would say I probably played this the second most. I don't know if I. Yeah, I don't know. I always keep the boomerang. See, the crouch walking is very situational. I mean, when isn't it? When is it not? I always thought that was cool effect. A lot of the sound effects are on the money in this game. Green spikes, like why? I always expect these platforms to crumble. I know that these things fall. Again, more really good sound effects. I would say that's probably my favorite part of the game is the sound effects. Yeah, because the rest of the game, it doesn't really have that gothic feel to it like other games had, like the first three. Another really great theme that I feel doesn't really belong in the game. I'm not complaining. It's just something that I've noticed over the years. These things you can't kill. I've always thought that was dumb in games. Like, why even? What's the point in putting something there if you can't just, even if you hit it like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 times, that would still be more feasible than just putting something there that cannot be killed. Like, why can't Dracula? If that's, you know, if we're using that logic, why isn't Dracula impervious? Why is this like little gelatinous thing the only thing that can't be killed in the game? Trying to be careful not to get any shitty weapons. I don't know anybody who would rather use the dagger or the time stopper over the boomerang. Even the axe is better than. Oh, how do you die from that? How? I was gonna say, is the screen not gonna scroll back? I hate when games do that. It's like I was just down there 2 seconds ago. Mm. He was like, I heard you were talking shit before, now I got you. So 3 hits for bone pillars. I think in Castlevania 3 it was like 6 or 8 or something like that. Something crazy. Yeah, it's like that game. I love it, but and I didn't beat it until I was an adult. Um, Castlevania 3, not my schlong. Yeah, I didn't beat Castlevania 3 until I was an adult because it was so friggin' difficult. I didn't use Game Genie or anything. I just remember I buckled down and just probably could have been doing something better with my time, but fuck that. I'd rather just playing video games isn't pointless at all. I feel like if you're enjoying yourself, whatever you're doing is not a waste of time at all. So what if I was in my early 20s and just chilling in the basement playing Nintendo? Now I do the same thing in mine and my wife's bedroom. She's outside right now. Probably waiting like, when's it gonna be done? Tying up the whole room just to make a video that probably nobody's gonna watch. I don't know what that thing is. It's like some kind of tunnel. I don't know. Would have been cool if they had branching paths in this, like they did in fucking Rondo of Blood, which I haven't beaten that yet. I haven't beaten Rondo of Blood or Dracula X. Both beautiful, amazing games, but just, I don't know, man. The going from this to back to like super stiff controls was just kind of crazy to me. I don't know. I don't know what Konami was thinking about. But I don't know. Maybe they thought that this was too easy. The controls were a little too fluid. But again, I understand why they made it like that. Because it was the first Castlevania on a new system, so... this is the theme I was talking about. This, it does not go with Castlevania at all. Does it sound great? It does. I always thought this was cool. Only part of the game it happens. Just a bunch of huge blocks falling from nowhere. I always thought it was really pointless how you get the Morning Star. It's like this. I guess it's cool if you want to have that option to use either the leather whip or the weakened chain whip, or just go full bore and get the long chain whip. Having choices is cool. Hate to make excuses, but the controller was acting up at that one specific point. And then it's like, once that gets in your head, you're like, oh man, here comes that part again. I've always hated those fucking things. I don't think anybody actually likes them. Fuck. Dude, jump. Game over. I don't think I've gotten a game over playing this in forever. Dude, you go all the way back here? No way. Thank God for iframes, IV frames. Oh boy, that's rough. Sucks to suck, like they say. Man. It's probably why I don't get any viewers on these things, because you can't have a bad personality and suck at the game at the same time. Page's channel's not going to go anywhere. At this point, it's therapeutic for me just to sit down and play a game. older I get, the shittier I feel, so playing an old game is kind of like comfort food. Hashtag mental health. At least the amount of lives you get is pretty generous. Oh, you son of a bitch. Ugh. Honestly, like, Bloodstained better than this. The 8-bit one. Wasn't a fan of the Symphony of the Night clone Bloodmate game. It's beautifully made. It didn't really, I don't know, there was something about it just was annoying. Maybe if I played it when I was a kid and I had some nostalgia for it, I would have liked it better, but I don't know, it just felt like it just took too long for anything to really happen. Maybe I just have to give it more of a chance. Alright, I gotta lock in right now. Sorry if I don't talk. Sorry in advance. Looks like someone got a tan in this one. Fucking. It always says on Twitch that I have 2 viewers. I don't know if that's, you know, do they do that just to make me feel better about myself? Because it says I have 2 viewers and nobody's talking to me. Chat something, just anything. Just for me to know that you're not a bot. It's probably like a moderator or something that watches streams to make sure I don't say or do anything crazy. And you can't really, like, technically interact with me or anybody else, really. Damn. My daughter is having her at-home therapy right now. So, don't worry, I'm not neglecting my child to play video games. Fuck. There's a point in the game where I'm just gonna start making dumb mistakes. I feel like even if there aren't technically people watching, I feel like people are watching me, so it just makes me self-conscious and I start making mistakes. If anybody is in here, you know, let me know how my microphone and game volume are contrasting with each other, because that's one thing I always have problems with, is one or the other is always too loud. And when I made this channel, I thought it would be cool to interact and connect with other people, other gamers. And yeah, that didn't happen. Kind of depressing. What are you going to do about it, though? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Block 3-2. Alright, if I can't pass this level on this... Oh! Probably just going to cut the video short. Not necessarily short, I feel like I've been playing for a while. But I wanted to at least make 2 halves of this video. One inside of the castle, or one's outside the castle and one inside. I don't think that's gonna happen, because I keep screwing up. So what's everybody think of the Israel-Palestine situation? That's the key. You gotta jump there. Whoopsie doodles. That's it. We'll just call this part 1. And I'll definitely come back to it, because I do want to at least make a inside / outside of the castle video, or I don't know, review, retrospective, talk about it, etc., etc. So yeah, thank you, and I'll put this up on my YouTube shortly.